Alright guys, we're going to talk about Iron Horse this time. We're doing Grey, the first one here, first boss. We're going to show you the spots that we're going to do, but first off, for this fight, I like to put somebody up on the bridge. That person there is going to take care of the mortars and the shotgunners that come out of this door over here. We also have another person up on the bridge over here. They'll take care of the mortar that comes out of this spot here, and they take care of the machine gunner at the back. After that, they'll shoot the boss. We have one healer, which is what I'm going to do first. That healer overcharges and helps proc extra the Scorpio debuff and sledgehammer onto the boss so that they can kill them much quicker. We then have everybody else on either skill builds with Oxidizers or DPS. So Faye is going to be doing the DPS for us, and everybody else is going to be on their skill builds with Oxidizers, and if they have it, capacitors. The way that the fight works, simply we've got some guys that come out with container doors as shields. They stand in front of the train, and we have to deal with the shield guys before we can get the boss. The boss will jump down from the top of the train and stand in front of the train. The way that we're doing this one, Oxidizer method here, the skill builds are going to take care of the shield, and then the goal is to keep the boss right at the train. In order to make sure the boss doesn't run around, it's very important that we put a turret on the left side of the tracks, on the tracks, and to the right of the tracks. This will form kind of a semicircle and make the boss stay right here instead of running off to the side. To start with, I'll be using the standard healer build that I've been using for the raid. So we're going to be using 4-piece future initiative. Everything rolled to repair skill on it. We're using the mask, the chest piece, the holster, and the knee pads. Same thing, repair skills on everything, with the mods being repair skill as well. I'm using the BTSU glove so that I can overcharge. And I'm using Perfect Opportunistic, again with repair skill on it. I'm going to be using Scorpio so that I can shoot 7 times and proc the extra damage from all sources. And I'm also using the Lefty so that I can proc Perfect Sledge by throwing my fire grenade at the boss. So let's go over this one. My goal for this one is to watch the boss come out of the side here. Once the boss jumps onto the train, I will overcharge, and then I'm going to shoot the boss with the Scorpio to proc the extra damage. Once he drops to the ground, I'll switch over and throw a fire grenade at him. And that's all there will be to this one. If you find that your group is lacking a little bit of damage, you can also switch your chem launcher to an Oxidizer or even a pulse if you want extra damage done. But you can switch to the Oxidizer. Your goal is not going to be, you won't have to heal. The boss should die pretty quickly. After you overcharge, you'll get some heals back, and you'll just simply put the heal hive down on the ground. So we're going to give this one a go, if you guys are ready for it. I'm going to throw the hive away from me. We're going to go hit the 2 buttons over here. We're going to go back behind these guys so that we don't die. We don't get in their way. So they don't kill themselves with the Oxidizer. As soon as the boss jumps down onto the train, I start the Oxidizer. I shoot the boss with my Scorpio. I can oxidize a little bit here. And then we're going to throw Sledge on the boss. Get Opportunistic on him. And then we're just going to keep killing him. That's all there is to the fight as the healer. You just want to proc the Scorpio and the sledgehammer and kill the boss real quick. Okay, this time we're going to show you the role of the Oxidizers. For this role, we're going to go with a skill build. I've got some armor regen rolled on these, but if you go skill haste and skill damage, that will work just as well, if not better. The armor regen isn't really needed for this fight since we have a healer dedicated to it. I'm running 3 Empress pieces. That skill efficiency gives you 10% of everything to do with skills. So skill damage, skill duration, skill haste, everything. It's best for it. So go with 3 Empress pieces. Skill tier and skill damage is very important on all of them. I'm using skill duration mods because our Oxidizers, the longer they sit, the more damage they'll do to the boss as well. Oxidizers scale off of skill damage, so skill damage, skill haste, skill duration on all of your pieces is great. So I'm going 3 Empress. I'm using 2 Hannah U. This gives us skill haste and skill damage as well. And I'm using 1 Wyvern for that extra skill damage. I'm also going with Glass Cannon on it. So once again, if you can get skill tier, skill haste, skill damage on everything, that's perfect. I'm going to be using a capacitor for this one. This will help build our stacks of damage for skill damage as well to help kill the boss super quick. So go capacitor if you can. Go 3 Empress, 2 Hannah U, 1 Wyvern. I'm also going to be using the Assault Turret and Oxidizers. For our Oxidizers, we want to make sure that we have the +1 ammo if you have it, or duration if you don't, and extra damage mods. If you have all of that stuff, then we're good to go. What we're going to do is there'll be some guys that come out with container doors as shields. They're going to set up in front of the train. We're going to shoot our capacitor at them. It's going to tell us that they're immune, but that's okay. It's going to build up our stacks of damage, and then once the boss jumps down, we're just going to start to oxidize. So as soon as the boss's feet hit the ground, we're going to switch to our chem launcher and just start oxidizing this area here. We're going to make sure that we have a turret on the left side of the tracks, 1 on the tracks, and 1 to the right of the tracks as well. If you guys don't mind throwing your turrets out now, I'm going to put mine on the tracks. Alright. 1 to the right as well. And we're good to go. So once again, the shield guys are going to come out here, and I'm just going to start shooting them with my capacitor to build up my stacks. You can see just to the right of the capacitor, it says 0, right now, but as I shoot, you'll see the numbers are going up. We want that number to get up to 40. That's our max damage. As soon as the boss hits the ground, we just start oxidizing. You can see that the radius of the oxidizer is really big now that we overcharged. And our goal is just to shoot all of these out and then start shooting with our gun. And the boss will die. Okay, now I'm going to show you the DPS. If you don't have a skill build, we're going to go with some DPS. The nice thing about this strategy is you can use any number of oxidizers and DPS, any combination of them. For the DPS, you can have them either hunkered down here at the concrete block, or you can have them standing next to the oxidizers. I prefer to have them over here if I can. That way they're outside of the oxidizers. They won't accidentally hit each other, and it won't accidentally kill the oxidizer, the skill builds for it. This one is super simple. We're just gonna make our turret. We're gonna put our turret down in front of us. And once the shield guys are down, we're just going to shoot the boss. That's it. We don't have to do anything else, just shoot the boss till he's down. What I'm using for this build is my standard DPS build. I'm going to be using Foxfire knee pads with crit hit damage on it. I'm going to be using Contractor's Glove with the crit hit damage on it as well. I'm using 3-piece Providence, all weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage. I'm going to be using the Sacrifice, Perfect Glass Cannon. I'm going to be using Vigilance or Perfect Vigilance on the backpack. And I'm going to be using a Gruppo on it. For this, any AR will work, but I'll be using the St. Elmo's for this fight here. I like to use Demo as the class for all the DPS in Iron Horse. This negates one of the mortars or explosions every 60 seconds. So if we do get hit by it, it's not going to do any damage to us. We won't lose our vigilance, and we can just keep shooting. So I find that this is the DPS that I use here. When I go to Dark Hours, I switch the glove out for Fenris for more health damage, but this is the build we're going to use for all DPS roles in this raid. So I think we're ready to get started. Turrets out. Again, we're going to see the shield guys come out. The Oxidizer guys are going to start shooting with the capacitor, and we're just going to wait right here. We don't need to do anything. We just wait.
Teach these children a lesson. Keep me alive.
Once the shields go down, we're just going to shoot the boss. Just wait ourselves out here. And the shields are down, and we just shoot the boss till he's dead. If you can shoot his backpack, it'll help cause him to not put his bonus armor on. So if you see his backpack, shoot it. Otherwise, just shoot him right in the face. Alright guys, we're going to talk about DPS on the left bridge now. Our goal for this area is to take care of the mortar person here so that he doesn't mortar the skill damage people down below us. After we do that, we're going to hear the word overcharge from the healer, and we're going to throw our revive hive down to the guys down there. This way, if a mortar does kill them, it'll be overcharged with 7 revives, and it will pick them up very quickly. If they accidentally kill themselves with their own Oxidizer, they're going to die, get picked up, die, get picked up, die again. So it's very important that they don't kill themselves with their Oxidizer, but we're going to try and give them the best chance if they do die to get back up and continue the damage. After we throw our hive down, we're going to come over here and we're going to kill the machine gunner that comes out of here. The other adds shouldn't be a problem. We should be able to kill the boss before that, but this machine gunner will just lie down and shoot all of the skill guys and kill them pretty quickly. You can use the Demolitionist DPS build that we had talked about from just down below. That one would be better because a mortar might hit you while you're up here, and if it does, the crossbow, it will hurt you an awful lot, possibly killing you. With the Demolitionist one, you won't even notice, it'll just shake off. But I wanted to show you, if you're having trouble killing the mortar guys, that you can use this fire grenade to make it easier for you. If you can't kill the mortar guy, distracting them so that they won't shoot their mortars is just as efficient, or just as effective. So I'll be using the same DPS build that I use in Dark Hours. I'm going with the Foxprayer knee pads, 3-piece Providence, using weapon damage, crit chance, and crit damage on all of it. I'm going to be using glass cannon, or perfect glass cannon, and I'm going to be using vigilance, or perfect vigilance on the backpack, 1-piece Grupo, and then your choice of Fenris or Contractor's Glove for this one. I'll also be using the M1A and an AR of your choice. For this one, I'll be using the St. Elmo's Fire. With that being said, I think we're good to go. So I'll get my fire grenade ready. Once they start it up, I'm just going to throw it over here to keep the mortar guy busy. Just waiting for Diego to hit the 2 buttons. I'm going to throw my fire grenade, and we're going to start to shoot this guy. You can see with the fire grenade, he's now distracted and not mortaring the guys. That'll help us hit them. I reload and I wait for overcharge. I'm going to throw my hive down like that, and I'm going to kill this guy right here. Switch to my AR, and I'm going to shoot the boss here.
Just one more.
We're going to be talking about the Right Bridge DPS. Our goal is just like on the left bridge. It's to take care of the mortar guy that's right here. You can see him, he'll be right between the yellow railing right here. We also have to take care of the shotgunners that come out of this door right here. So we're going to throw our assault turret on the ground over here and take care of the mortar. Once we hear the word overcharge, we're going to throw our hive down to the ground over here, again, so it will pick them up with 7 charges in case they die. We're going to turn around and we're going to kill the shotgunners that come out of that door. Once they're dead, we'll just turn and we'll shoot the boss with our gun. For this spot, again, if you're having trouble with the mortar guy, you can use crossbow and a fire grenade to distract them. But we're going to be using the standard DPS build. We're going to use Foxprayer knee pads. I'm going to use Contractor's Gloves. We're going to go with 3 Providence pieces, all weapon damage, crit chance, and crit damage. Be using Vigilance or Perfect Vigilance, and Perfect Glass Cannon, as well as 1 Grupo piece for it. For this one, I'll be using the classic M1A with damage to target out of cover and boomerang on it, and the St. Elmo's fire gun. And that's it. So on the right side of the bridge here, we're going to throw our turret on the ground just in front of here. This will distract the shotgunners that come out. Whenever Diego is ready, he'll go start the fight. And we're going to set up right here so we can shoot the mortar guy. If we're having some trouble, again, you can use your crossbow survivalist build and throw a fire grenade at him instead. But we're just going to shoot him right here till he's dead. See, he took off, but we're just going to keep shooting him till he's dead. We're going to switch to our AR. We're going to throw our revive hive down there, and we're going to kill the shotgunners that come out of the door. Once they're dead, we're just going to focus on the boss. Try and aim for that backpack so it shocks him, so that he doesn't overheal. And then that's all for him. Okay, so after you kill the boss, you're going to find 2 shiny yellow things that don't belong to many people, but in this case, they belong to me. So I'm going to pick both of these up, and these spark plugs are needed in order to push the train back so that we can get to the next area, the next boss fight. Once you pick one of them up, you'll see that the spark plug shows up to the right of your name. So in the bottom right corner there, you can see it says Little Huge, and it has 2 yellow spark plugs next to my name. The way that you figure out what to do with them is if you follow these switches that started the fight, you can follow the yellow cables. Each of the yellow cables has a generator attached to it, and you put the spark plug inside the generator. There's one of them right here, and I'll go show you where the other one is and show you what happens to the train. When you put the first one in, the train backs itself up just a little bit, but we still can't move on to the next area. A lot of groups will have you come to this part here. Once the diamond moves further back into the room, you can click options, go to social, and choose to fast travel on anybody's name other than yourself, and it will put you on the other side of the train. But for purposes of getting through without doing that, we're going to follow the second yellow cable. We're going to see that it goes over here. It runs along up here. So we'll go up the stairs as well. And it runs all the way along this way, and our second generator is right here. Once we put this one in, the train will be pushed all the way back, and we'll be able to access the next area. And there you go. The train is pushed back, and we have access to the next area. For this next section here, this is a bit of an ad clear section. You won't be able to progress until you close the hatches, I guess it's called, into this area here. Once we go in, the whole room's going to start to heat up, and you have a bit of a time limit, otherwise you'll all die to the heat. In order to get through this one, we're going to kill the ads, but there's also consoles on the side that we're going to have to hit 3 buttons at the same time for to shut the shutters. You'll see we'll run through. One person will stop at the first console, one at the second, and one at the third. And then I'll run all the way to the end, pick up the fuse, and we're going to put it in the far left side of the room. I quite often will run with the fixer drone on. That way, if there's not a healer that's watching you, the fixer drone can actually take some of that heat off of you for a while and keep you safe, in case it takes longer. But it's important to get those 3 buttons at the same time. Quite often when you put the fuse in, you'll just say press it when you see it, and when the 3 consoles get the interact button, everybody will hit it at the same time. So if you guys are ready, 3, 2, 1, let's go. We're going to run out here, and there's just some ads that we're going to shoot along the way. We're going to have people stop at the consoles. This is the first one here, Faye's taking that one for us. We're just going to keep pushing up as we kill our ads. Okay, you can see Jenny's on 2 for us, waiting right there. We've got one over here at 3, and we're just looking for the yellow spark plug or fuse that drops from the yellow. Pick up the fuse, and then we're going to make our way over here to the fuse box. Once I put this in, the 3 people are going to press their consoles at the same time. Fuse is in, press it when you see it, and you'll see that they're going to interact with this as soon as it lights up. There you go. If it's done correctly, these will shut. Once they're fully closed, we move on. If they don't press it at the same time, you need to count down and press all 3 buttons together. Otherwise, they'll just keep having, they won't close.